Welcome back to my channel. It's Milana here. I have spent over probably 300 hours meditating at Dr. Joe Dispenza retreats. These are some of my t-shirts that you get at the retreats. And today I'm going to share with you things that I have experienced and learned and gained from going to 7 Joe Dispenza retreats. Before we get deeper into it, I just want to point out that these retreats are very expensive. They cost about like $5,000 to go to total. So if you want to learn how to make passive income and make easy money investing in the stock market, I just created a new course, so check the description below, but we'll also talk more about that at the end of the video. So now back to the video. Like, at least gain from me the experience, what the experience is like, or if you're like on the fence about going, you can get a greater understanding of what it's like and what you will experience there, and like how you will be changed and transformed as a person from going to these retreats, from the meditations, from the community, from so many incredible things. And yeah, I just pulled some of my shirts out. There's more. I don't know if I've kept all of them, but this was my first Joe Dispenza retreat, San Diego, April of 2022. So it's just over 3 years ago now. Rehabit, that was the theme. Every single retreat has a different theme. If you recognize me, if you've seen me at the retreats, I've even volunteered at some, comment below and let me know. I've met a lot of people from my online community at these retreats, which is so cool. And I'm like, yes, this is my soul tribe, which is actually the first thing I want to talk about these retreats, is the community. I remember the first time I went to my first retreat, San Diego, I felt finally like I was at home. I felt like I met my people. I met my family. I met the people who I vibe with, because I've always been like really spiritual, even before I got into spirituality or meditation. But then especially when I like got deeper into studying Joe Dispenza's work and the subconscious mind and spirituality, I just became obsessed with this world. And then when you go to this retreat, there's 2,000 people staying at the same hotel. And when you're eating, when you're in line for things, when you're sitting down, like in all these in-between moments, all the people that you're connecting with and talking with, like most of them are pretty spiritual and high vibe and positive and doing really cool things with their life and being the creators of their life. Like, they're really full of light and full of love. And it's just so cool to be around people that are like on the same page as you, that are not just like complaining and, biatching and moaning about things. They're like, yeah, like I'm creating this, and this is what I manifested, and this is a cool story I have from meditating, and how do you do the breath, and what do you focus on in the nothing? Like, it's just such cool conversations that just elevates and creates a mastermind effect and like expands you in such a deep way. So that's so beautiful. A lot of my best friends I have made and met through these retreats, and through like the Joe Dispenza community, from doing like healings and things like that. It's pretty incredible, pretty magical. This is where you meet your soul tribe, your soul family. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about is, because you meditate for so many hours, like during a week long, I think you meditate for about 40 hours, because the way it's structured is like, you meditate for anywhere from like 1 to 2 hours typically, and then you have a little break, and then you go back for lecture, and lecture is like 1 to 2 hours, and you kind of repeat that throughout the day, and it's a full day, an evening. And there's even one day where you do the pineal gland meditation, which can range anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours, or maybe 4 to 5 hours. I'm pretty sure the first time I did it, it was like 5 hours, and he doesn't tell you how long it's going to be. You just like hear from other people. They're like, oh, today's pineal gland meditation day. Like, it's a long one. It's like 4 hours. And like, even if you've never really meditated before going to the retreat, by the time you get to pineal gland meditation day, like, you're freaking ready to go. You're amped. You're like, let's do it. Let's push my boundary. Let's find the edge of my comfort and discomfort, of where I want to fall asleep, or where I want to snap back into the 3D, and let's go a little bit deeper. Let's see what's there. Let's see if I can push myself to that limit. It's so satisfying to spend that much time in meditation, and it truly changes your brain, your biology, your chemistry, your beliefs. it changes everything to spend that much time in meditation, which is something I love about it. Like, it's such a hard reset. It sets you in a whole new paradigm, whole new timeline. Yeah, and you really feel so proud of yourself because you have spent so much time sitting in the nothing and getting beyond yourself. Like, I remember my first retreat, like the first 2 to 3 days were really difficult for me, especially because he spent a lot of time. It felt like, I don't know if he's, if it really is, or this was just my perception, it felt like all he was talking about and all of our meditations were blessing of the energy centers, which I used to hate those meditations because I was like, I don't care about tuning into the centers in my body. I want to just like manifest stuff. But that is it trains your brain to focus even when you're bored and you don't want to and you're uncomfortable. You don't want to be sitting up like and tuning into 3 for freaking ever. But it does things to you and it makes you a better manifester. It makes you more present. It makes you more relaxed. Your brain releases all these good juicy chemicals and hormones. It's amazing. Okay. The next thing I want to touch on is because you spend so much time in the void and you're freaking blasting your pineal gland with life force energy, cerebral spinal fluid up into the brain, banging on that pineal gland, getting those crystals activated, creating an electromagnetic charge in your brain. It's literally a physical, scientifically proven thing that happens. I don't know why people call this woo-woo. It's kind of like lifting a weight at the gym. And then other people are like, that seems pretty crazy. You think lifting a weight is going to grow your muscles? It's the same thing with doing the breath, with meditating. Yes, you're literally moving cerebral spinal fluid up into your pineal gland, activating those crystals, creating an electromagnetic field, tuning in to seeing and sensing beyond the 0.00001% of reality that we can perceive with our limited bodies and eyes that can only see a small percentage of the UV spectrum. We can only see the ultraviolet spectrum or whatever, like the rainbow, the colors of the rainbow, but there's so much more in terms of frequency that is out there that, anyways, that we can tune into and become superhuman and have these supernatural abilities by doing this. And it was at my first retreat that I started having mystical experiences, that I started interacting with beings from and in other dimensions that you might say look like aliens or angels or some combination of the two. These beings started coming to me and I sensed they were full of so much love and wisdom and they were just there to like love me and guide me. So I would ask them my big questions about life and they would answer me and it was really freaking cool. And I was like, wow, suddenly I have answers to things I have wondered about my entire life. And now I have an answer and it actually makes sense. And it's not what I would have necessarily chosen or thought of, but it actually unlocks me to opening the door to a more unlimited and fulfilling life than I ever imagined. I also feel like I time traveled at that first retreat because I remember having certain visions where I'd see these like wooden panels like ticking backwards like a backwards clock and showing me things from my past. And then I'd like zoom out and it would start ticking forward and I'd see myself like as a super old lady and she like told me certain things. And I was like, if that's true, that's pretty freaking great. That's pretty freaking great. I should never be stressed out if what you told me is true. So yeah, that was pretty freaking cool. And that's just the beginning of the mystical experiences I have encountered ever since going to these retreats. Next on my docket is going to these retreats has made me love and know myself on a soul level, on such a deep soul level, because you spend so much time not plugged into the distractions of the 3D world. You finally get to know your soul, because if you think about it, your waking day, you are focused on matter and materialism and things that you already know and already think and feel. Like, even when you look in the mirror, you're looking at your body. Your body is not your soul. When you're working, you're focused on your work. When you're talking to your friends, you're focused on conversation. When you are figuring things out, you're figuring things out. When you're walking your dog, you're walking your dog. When you're doing laundry, you're focused on that. But when you meditate for so long, you finally disconnect and unplug from all these little things. Suddenly you're able to connect with your soul and you're like, oh my God, I am this unlimited presence that is literally a conduit and a piece of source, a piece of the universe. And I am actually the entire universe experiencing myself in all these different ways. It's incredible to finally experience yourself. It's one thing to read about it in a book or be told it like I am telling you in this video, but to experience it is a whole other level. Another note on my docket is that it's pretty freaking incredible being in a room of 2,000 people meditating, 2,000 people that are disconnecting from the 3D, that are tuning into their own energy and charging up their big auric field and expanding it. And we're all in each other's auric field, vibrating and creating a synchrony of energy. And like our mirror neurons are firing and wiring, and we're just all upregulating together. I will say, I think it's, in a sense, it's easier to drop into meditation and go deeper when you're in this environment. It's very beneficial. The healings at these retreats are insane. When you do the healings, you feel so much love for a stranger that you've never met. You don't know their name. You randomly like get assigned this person. You just show up, and your job is to send them pure love, to hold them in a healed state. And I have chills and tears like behind my eyes right now just thinking about my memories from these from the healings. It's crazy. That's also where I've had some of my most mystical experiences and where I feel like the veil is the thinnest, because when you show up to serve someone else, to be in pure love and pure service of someone else, that's when you raise the whole vibration of the whole room. And it's easier for higher vibrational beings like angels from higher dimensions to come and assist, because they can only lower their vibration so much. So they can lower their vibration a little bit to meet us in love, to meet us in the vibration of pure love, and like help heal these people. And I've witnessed people that I saw throughout the week wheeling around in their wheelchair or crunched over with their cane. And then after the healing, you hear people cheering like, whoa, yeah! You look over and you see someone walking for the first time in 20 years, dropping their cane on the ground and walking out, feeling proud, feeling healthy. It's incredible, the things you witness in the healings. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's no other way to describe it. And afterwards, you're on such an oxytocin love chemical high. It's like unlike anything else. And it's also crazy because I feel like, I don't know, it's more love than I've ever experienced like in relationships, or like, you know, maybe with a parent or a best friend or sibling. You're like, I love you so much. Like, you really do. But in these moments, you really act on it and you really bring up that love, and you're there to heal and you're there to serve. And it's a very visceral feeling. Like, I usually get really hot, sweaty. I'm like bawling, my arms, my body is like freaking shaking. It's incredible. You know, I didn't even get into the things I've manifested from going to these retreats, but would you like me to make a part 2? If you'd like me to make a part 2, comment below. Also, I recognize these retreats are pretty expensive. They're like $2,300, I believe, plus you have to pay for your hotel and flight. I think usually it ends up costing me around $5,000 to go to these retreats. Just like, yeah, paying for those things. So yeah, it's not a cheap experience, but I will say it's totally worth it. And one of the ways that I've been able to afford going to these retreats is changing my beliefs about money. And through changing my beliefs about money, I've learned how to invest in the stock market. And investing in the stock market has generated me a lot of wealth and money that I've been able to use to live a life of freedom. And there's so many people that are super spiritual, but totally broke or really struggle with money. And it breaks my heart because it's like, you deserve money more than anyone else. You're freaking raising the vibration of the planet and working on yourself. Like, you deserve more money. But I think where the disconnect is for a lot of spiritual people is they don't want to deal with taking action in the 3D. But that's where the work is, because you are heaven on earth. You are the bridge between 5D and 3D. You're the bridge between heaven and the animal, which means we need to do both. We need to have one foot in both worlds. So on one hand, you're manifesting money in abundance. On the other hand, you're taking the 3D actions to learn and start making more money. And the easiest way to make more money is through passive income, investing in the stock market. Like today, I opened my investment account and I was up thousands of dollars. I didn't have to do anything for that other than let my money sit in these easy, safe investments. And I'll teach you exactly how to do exactly what I did and what I do to invest in the stock market in a way that's really easy, it's really fun, and you can use it to fund your dream life. So I'm teaching you exactly how to do that in my new course, Learn How to Invest to Fund Your Dream Life. Check it in the description below because it's going to change your life. And this is what I wish someone would have shown me when I was like freaking 15 years old, because honestly, like a fourth grader could do it. It's so simple and easy. Once you just know the simple steps, you just take the steps and then boom, it happens, okay? So if you want a part 2, comment for part 2. Check the description below. If you've seen me at retreats, comment below. Let me just shout out the ones I've been to. Signature of the Soul. I believe that was one I volunteered at. Molecules of the Mystical. Shout out San Diego, love that one. Also my initials, MM. Synchronistic. Everything and Nothing, love that theme. Obviously we have Rehabit, the Singularity Moment. That was where I had some of my most profound experiences of God. So if you want to hear about that, comment below. I've been to some more, but I don't know if I kept all my shirts. So love you so much. See you at my next video.